Man, I have a lot of stuff. Where to start? Hi, and welcome, or welcome back. Thank you for taking the time to check out what I'm up to. I truly appreciate it. This is a Floss Tube video where I share my cross-stitching things and things I've purchased for cross-stitch, and maybe a little bit of my life, and maybe a little peek at some of the other things that I may be into at the current time. It's been about 10 days since I did my last video. I keep trying to do them more frequently, but I keep getting sidetracked. So much to do. So anyway, I've touched a few whips during the last week or so. I've had a couple of new starts. I didn't get very far with them, but I had a couple of new starts. And so, without further ado, let's see where my stuff stands. The first thing I'm going to show you is Michael. He's a Mirabilia design, and I started him during Stitch Mania in honor of my son Michael, and I'm loving him. I'm not stitching on him nearly enough, and the reason I stitched on him this month was because of all this beautiful blue. And the 15th was on Stitch Mania, was a Sapphire Day, because they're doing the color of the month. So I got Michael out and I put a very few stitches in, and he's one of the few projects I have left on any kind of a rod, because I have gone to stitching in hand predominantly. And this is on an Orchid Lugana, and I really love it. And it's coming off this scroll rod because I find I'm much more comfortable stitching in hand than I am on any type of a frame. But I do love this design. I got the fabric at 123 stitch. Excuse me. 123 stitch, as I try to knock everything over. Anyway, so he's fun. I need to spend more time on one thing, I think. Let me move this honkin' bag of floss. I showed this before, though. That was for a couple of hay designs that I just purchased. And speaking of those hay designs, I know, well, no, we're not going to go there yet. We'll wait and do all of the stash acquisitions at one time, because I haven't been good. I guess maybe I've been a little bored too. Have a lot to do, lots of ideas, hanging off the walls. Don't know what's going on. It's change of season. Whenever the season changes, it's like my whole attitude takes a huge shake up, and I want to do all the things. I don't want to just stitch all the things. I want to do all the things. I'm just crazy that way. I'll work on it. Anyway. Well, and there's for your listening pleasure, my clock striking 3. It is 3 o'clock in the afternoon on September 23rd. It's a beautiful sunny day, but it's about 90 degrees outside, and I don't do well in the heat. So I'm inside and enjoying myself. I have not stitched yet today, I will say. I'm doing a lot of perusing Pinterest and getting other ideas. So anyway, one of my new starts I had shown before when I purchased it is this Mill Hill buttons and beads kit. It's called Play Ball. Actually, it's called Home Run, but it says Play Ball, but it's called Home Run. And it is, I have it all set up in a huge box. I don't even do that very much anymore. I think I did it this time because of all the beads and stuff. But I'm just putting this, it came with perforated plastic. I'm trying just to put it on. This is, I think, an 18 count Ada, and I just have it like distressed some. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with it yet. And this is all the stitching I've done. So you can tell I'm really not set on this fabric. I think I was, and sorry for all the wrinkles, but it was just a scrap that I picked up. Because this isn't a really huge stitch. I mean, it's just a small mill hill kit. And I know it's going to have a lot of buttons on it. But I may want to just keep it small and kind of grungy, and maybe do some alternative finishing with it. That's my idea anyway right now. And I haven't done my whip parade yet either, I'm sorry. I've been looking at it all. I don't know that I want to show it all. Anyway, another thing that I worked on this month was for, I think, the 19th on Stitch Mania was Talk Like a Pirate Day. My problem is I don't show pictures. I don't really go online and share stuff, and I really need to start doing that. That would be a really great thing. But this is Barbara Anna's Part 5, Over the Seas. And I've been working on this forever. There was a Facebook group that was open for it. And I think that McKenna has stitched like 3 or 4 of them. Yeah, this is still the first one for me. I'm enjoying it. I'm doing this on a 13 by 18, 32 count limestone linen. And I actually got quite a bit done. I think I did, I'm not sure if I can even show that. Oh yeah, I can. I got all the red done, and I finished up all the browns here, and I started that ship and the ship next to it, and yes, that little red crab was also part of the red that I did. So I was having fun working on this, and I'm stitching on this limestone linen in hand also, and I'm finding that I am enjoying my stitching a lot more by going back to my basics and just stitching, holding the fabric in my hand. It's amazing what you can do when you're not encumbered with a frame. I guess that's being out of the box. Let's see. So Barbara Anna, I'm really enjoying that. Actually made me think about doing another one of hers, but I think I really like this Over the Seas one, but I don't know if I like it enough to do another one. I was thinking that maybe I'll do the village one and do them together, because I have enough room on that limestone linen that I could put a second one in it and do them together. And that was a thought. Just a thought. Very scary when it's in my brain. Yeah. So another new start. Now I did the home run Mill Hill kit tentatively for my brother David, who's a huge baseball fan. He likes the New York Yankees, even though he lived in Texas for a long time and now he's living in Florida. He's still a big Yankees fan. So my other new start for this month so far is the X's and O's August flower of the month, and it's the August poppy. And I made myself my working chart, and I'm doing this on a 9 by 13 piece of 28 count antique white Joblin, and I didn't do much on this one either. I can probably move it down a little. So I got like one petal of one poppy flower started. I really like that red color, but then it is a color I've been using a lot lately. So And I think those were my 2 new starts so far for September. And this Birthstone, the August Poppy by X's and O's, I'm tentatively doing for my sister-in-law Blanca. Her birthday was August 17th. And it's not really for her birthday this year. I was thinking I would do it and give it to her for her birthday next year. A little ahead this time. A little. And then I decided I wanted to work on one of my Christmas stitches. And this is one that I started for Stitch Mania. And I wasn't really sure I liked, because no matter how much I stitched on it, you couldn't really tell what I was stitching. And it's out of the 2016 Volume 11 Ultimate Cross Stitch magazine. And it's got your luxury collection of Christmas designs. And I like these magazines, although I have to admit I have not bought many this year at all. And I can't even show a picture of it because all it is in here is in the back. And it's all charts, but they're called Playful Pixies. I keep calling them elves, but they're obviously pixies because they have wings. And I'm not doing any of these. But because the one I'm doing, as far as I can tell, doesn't have a picture. It's just a chart. But at least now you can tell what I'm doing. I had this on stretcher bars, and I decided that I wanted to get it done, so I took it off the stretcher bars, and I've started working on it in hand, and it's almost finished. I have to back stitch everything because it all kind of blurs together, because there's a couple of stockings, and there's a little toadstool here, and there's a bigger one here. And I put gold beads in the big one. And you see the black beads I have for the fairy eyes. But you can't even tell they have faces. That's what I have to backstitch. And then I've got to put some beads in this stocking. And there's some beads on this toadstool. I have initialed it and put 2017 on it. Because other than the backstitch, I'm pretty much done with it. And I'm going to backstitch it in a single strand of DMC 869. And for this, I have to say that my DMC floss color book, it has this is the one that has the threads in it, has come in really handy, because I have to tell you that I was getting really tired of stitching on this, and you can tell it's like it's on like an 18 count 8 that's got gold flecks in it, and you can see I have some specialty stitches in Krennic, but it had for a small stitch, a small pattern, this had a lot of stitching in it and a lot of color changing. So what I actually did, get my notes, there were some spots where it was like in here in her skirt were 2 different colors. So I changed it to DMC Variations 4205. And then the blue in her tights, I changed to 4237. And then in this fairy skirt over here, I combined 3 different colors, well, 2 colors of yellow and kind of an orange into 4122. And I kind of like it. I think it kind of gave it kind of a more of a modern feel. And so I just have to do the back stitching, a few more beads, and that one will be finished. And I haven't decided if I'm going to do it into a flat fold or maybe a small pillow, like shelf sitting thing for Christmas. I'm looking forward to finishing it. Then I've also, thought there was like a stitch on a witch day. I don't know if it was cross stitch finish line like a Wednesday. But I pulled out Nora Corbett's Gwen. This is another one I've been working on forever. And I like her. And you're supposed to do that on that milk chocolate witch linen, which I hated. It was like cardboard. So what I did was I have hand-dyed 18 count Ada myself, and I am stitching her on that. And I actually got a fair amount done. Again, she has a lot of black. Was it Jessie Marie was saying on Wednesdays we stitch black? Well, I was stitching black, and I got some of her skirt filled in. There's still quite a lot of skirt down here, and then all that up there. And I did get all of this post in, and her gloved arm kind of comes up over this. And of course, she's wearing a black glove. But she's a lot of fun. And I don't know why I haven't spent more time stitching on her. Again, I'm stitching in hand, and I'm finding I'm enjoying it a lot more. But you can see, oops, sorry for the glare, all the black in that picture too. But she's beautiful, and she's fun to stitch. So, and let's see, I have my list here, and I'm just looking just to make sure I didn't miss any. Okay, so last but not least, I've stitched on my Dragons of Sumatra some more. And for anyone who doesn't know, this is what the Dragons of Sumatra looks like. It's an ink circles chart, and it's beautiful. I really love it. I think I have finished page 1, so I have a page finish, and I've done some of page 2 and some of page 4, and I think there's 9 pages. But this is where it stands right now. This is also 18 count Ada that I dyed myself, and I'm doing it in variegated green and a red color, which of course I don't have the number handy. And then the dragons themselves, anywhere there's a dragon, I'm doing in anchor. This is a 1/1, and this is 2/1. The dragons are. And then I've also added beads. I have size 11 gold beads and size 15 gold beads, and then I have red size 11s, and then I have some green size 11s in there. And I'm having a really good time, again, stitching this in hand. And I'm finding I'm enjoying all of my stitches better stitched in hand. So, I think that's all of my stitching for these last 10 days. It's been a fair amount. I'm not spending hours stitching because when I stitch in hand, I really can stitch fairly quickly. And that's good. Right now I'm just trying to move things around. I have, I'm going to try to pay more attention to what sales are coming up, because I did join Full Coverage Fanatics, and I know that they were having September starts, and on the 21st they were starting. And I have been looking at the posts and liking other things that people are posting. I just haven't had a chance to really lay things out and take pictures. But what I wanted to start on the 21st for the first quarterly sale was this Heaven and Earth, one of the most recent ones that I bought. And it's artwork by Sheila Rayanne, and it's a mini, and it's called Cheshire Cat. And there's only 16 colors in this, and it kind of has a very loose feeling to it. And I really like it. And you know, of all the cats I've had in my life, I've never owned a white cat. So, just a little interesting factoid. But part of my incoming stash acquisitions this week was my Magic Guide 25 count that I got to work on this. So I'm now able to start this Cheshire Cat for full coverage fanatics, and that I'm going to start as soon as I can before September's over, and I will post pictures hopefully to full coverage fanatics. I really do need to be better about that, but that looks like it'll be a lot of fun. So in the same vein, I might as well go into my acquisitions for so far this month. And one of the, I also got for my Queen Elizabeth, I've got the 25 count Magic Guide that she will fit on. So I may also be starting her this month. She is artwork by Christina Hess, and she doesn't have 16 colors. I think she's got 89 colors. Hence, and I don't know why I did this, but I did it, my big bag of floss. Didn't have to do it. I just did it. I think because I have floss spread out already and I just can't find the colors that I need. And I wanted to start things. Anyway, so that's two things. And then I placed an order with 123 Stitch because Kara, here on YouTube, has been showing her Holy Night Nativity from Stony Creek. And I think this is one of the most beautiful nativities I've seen. So I had to have it. And I looked at Stony Creek, and I have to say the price was better on 123 Stitch. So I bought this through 123 Stitch. I think it's on sale right now. At least it was when I picked it up. So that I'm hoping to start sometime. I'm not sure when. And of course, yes, I got other things. You can never buy just one thing. The Magic Guide fabric I got from Heaven and Earth Designs. So I ordered a package of size 26 petite John James needles because that is my needle of choice. Although, let me say, I'm interrupting my stash acquisitions to say that my pixies that I've been working on, I don't know if I can get back to them. Yes, there they are. These little pixies have so many fractional stitches. I mean, tons of fractional stitches. Fractional stitches everywhere. Everywhere there are fractional stitches. This is Ada. And I keep hearing people talk about Ada and fractional stitches. And yeah, you know, it's not Ada. You have to split the wide thread in the middle because it's over one, and that one thread is thick. Now I'm trying to find my needle. I'm sorry. This is either a 10 or 12, size 10 or size 12 embroidery needle. And it does have a little tiny eye. But I will say that it's not a hard eye to thread. I put 2 strands of embroidery floss through there pretty easily. and it has a sharp point. It does not have the dull point of a cross-stitch needle like this 26, that's the John James. This has a point, and it has a point, and it has a smaller eye. If you pay attention to your needle, I don't know if I can get close enough, but if you pay attention to the needle, you would see that there's actually an indent in the needle, and that's the direction that you should put your thread in, because it's almost like a slide that just kind of gently urges your thread through the hole. And by using a needle with a point, be careful, I've jabbed myself, yes, but by using a needle with a point, it's really not hard to do loads of fractional stitches in any piece. Do I enjoy fractional stitches? Most of my fractional stitches become 3/4 stitches. I'll do the partial stitch in the direction that the fractional is in, and then the other leg I'll take full cross. And I do them in the order that the leg, it's hard to explain, the leg of the cross stitch would be. So if the fractional, for me, I stitch bottom right to upper left. So if the fractional stitch was in the bottom right corner, I would do bottom right to center, and then I would do bottom left to upper right as the full, and vice versa. So if my fractional stitch was in the bottom left, I would do my full stitch from bottom right to upper left, and then I would come up from the bottom left, go over that first leg, catching it under my fractional stitch, going down through the center of the Ada thread, which was probably not terribly helpful, but if you want to see that, let me know. Hi. I just finished talking about my needle and fractional stitches, and then I had gone on and talked for probably another, I don't know, 15-20 minutes about the rest of my stash acquisitions. And then I stopped and I pulled out another project that I'm working on that's not cross stitch, and I have that part that I stopped and then started, but I didn't realize that my camera cut out after that part on my needle. So I am going to try to recreate what I just did. Sorry, so just bear with me, because I'm going to probably have a hard time picking the flow back up. Don't you hate it when that happens? Okay, so I was talking about my 1, 2, 3 stitch haul, and I got the John James needles and the Oh Holy Night Nativity, which is beautiful. Kara, thank you for showing that. I look forward to starting that sometime. And then I also got, because no patterns can travel alone, I've been collecting the Nora Corbett Christmas Eve couriers, and so far I have Santa's sleigh and I have Rudolph. Those were the first 2 things I got. And then I got Vixen, because we have a blue-nosed pit bull and her name is Vixen, and she is the sweetest, most loving dog. She's definitely a pit bull, but she's a beautiful dog. So I had to get her, and so I figured I had Vixen, so the next one I got would be Prancer, because Prancer runs next to Vixen. And then I'll have to go back and get Dasher and Dancer. Then I'll have Prancer and Vixen, and then I'm going to need Comet and Cupid and Donner and Blitzen. So I started at the back of the front, so I still have to get up to the front of the front, which I already have Rudolph, so the absolute lead is taken care of. And then I'll go back and get the other 4 in the back. But so that'll go into my stash, and I look forward to someday starting those. And so I had looked at Stony Creek for the Oh Holy Night Nativity. but it was more expensive than on 1-2-3 Stitch. But that doesn't mean that I didn't find anything at Stony Creek, because I did. Oh yeah, I did. I ordered the subscription to the Stony Creek Cross Stitch magazine, and I am really looking forward to starting that. That'll be wonderful. And while I was there, I picked up, I think this may have been their first issue, I'm not sure, but this is May, June of 1989, and it was $3.95. And you can't see inside the magazines on the website, but I got it for this cover picture of the redheaded girl and her 2 kitties, and she's reading a book. And that was pretty much my life growing up. I had a dad who used to always tell me to take my nose out of my book and get myself outside for a little while. But me and books and cats. So, and there's a lot of really nice charts in here that the magazine may be older, but I'm really, looking forward to maybe doing a couple of things. And here I bought the that home run for my brother, and right in the front, the first chart is called Batter Up. So that's kind of fun. And then the other one I bought was the March-April 1994. And again, I bought it for the cover photo because that's really all you can see. And it's a winged Pegasus and a castle. And I love castles, and I love fantasy creatures, and I just think that that's a really pretty chart. And I think this one, I'm not sure. No, maybe not this one. One of them has a graduation piece in it. And my granddaughter, my oldest granddaughter, is a junior in high school this year, so I have to start thinking about maybe doing something as a gift for her. But this is a really nice magazine too. So, and it back from 89 to 94, it was still $3.95. And these are nice magazines. They're good quality. And then the other magazine that I bought was the Winter 2017. So it's their most recent one. And it's called Beach Bounty, or cover. And I like that maritime kind of coastal feeling of the old buoys and the lifesaver and the starfish and the netting and the birds and the sailboat. I just like that. I think that's really nice. And this is volume 29, number 1, and it's printed in the USA, and now it's $8.49. But it's well worth it. It's a thicker book. The pages are well done. It's glossy, has a really nice magazine feel. It says 25 plus designs for the new year. There's Easter stuff in here. And I look forward to getting this magazine. I get just cross stitch, but I have the digital copies, and I'm really looking forward to having physical magazines in my hand again, that I don't have to go to the store every time to get. And I did buy one leaflet. Oh, it's actually a book. It's book 400. It's Piece of Christmas, and it has all of these designs in it. I kind of got it for the one with the cardinal and the skates. The cardinal reminds me of my mother. Tomorrow would have been her 78th birthday. I miss my mother every day. If you still have your mother. My mother passed away in 2005. She had multiple sclerosis, and her body just gave out on her. But I miss my mother every day. So you are blessed if your mother is still alive. So anyway, I like the skates. My mother used to love the ice skate when she was younger, and the cardinals. And it's a beautiful winter scene. And growing up here in New York, it's perfect imagery. So that was my Stony Creek. Oh no, it wasn't. I have more. I lied. So while I was on the site, they have their pattern of the month that they'll be charging for in the future. But for now, this Scary Night Halloween, it's the last in the series that they've been doing. And this is Witches Meet at Midnight and it was free. Just had to put it in my shopping cart, and it's actually the last one in the series that started in April. But I have the last one, and I'm happy with that. So that's always nice. And then I also have been looking at Country Cottage Needleworks, their monthly cottage designs. And again, this was the December one. And it's got pine trees and cardinals. And like, cardinals remind me of my mother. I'm a sucker for cardinals. So I picked that one up. And I also picked up the March, because that's my birth month, and I just thought it was pretty. Green is my favorite color. I just wish there weren't clovers. You know, I have a little Irish in my blood, I think, but seriously, clovers. Anyway, it's okay. I like it anyway. It's cute. And then I picked up the Little House Needleworks chart in 2 skeins of Classic Colorworks thread. This is called Rain Showers. The chart is actually complimentary. The money that you pay is for the floss. And for this chart, they included Stormy Night, which is a beautiful dark gray blend, and Thundercloud, which is a very pretty silvery gray blend. And I don't have any Classic Colorworks threads, so I thought this would be a perfect opportunity for me to try some. And then the last thing I got at Stony Creek was Here's My Heart. And it's cottages and sheep. And very pretty. And this one has 3 skeins of Classic Colorworks. It has Colonial Rose, very pretty, and Tea and Biscuits, and Secret Garden. I love green. So I look forward to that. And so that was 1, 2, 3 Stitch and Stony Creek. And I also placed an order from Amazon because I was looking for graph paper that had 10 by 10 grid. Not that I want to design cross-stitch manual charts, but there are times where I want to do lettering or, you know, like create something myself, for myself. And so they had these 10 by 10 graph pads that had 50 sheets, and they were $7.95 for 50 sheets of gridded 10 by 10 paper. But then I saw this. It's called A Passion for Cross Stitch. It's Cross Stitch Design Journal. It's 160 pages for needlework planning, 10 squares to the inch. This book wastes no time, 160 pages, starts right off with the graph. And it even shows you the center. And it shows you the center just at the top. But it gives you center. And it is graph all the way through. Probably more graph than I'll ever need. And it goes all the way up to almost the end, where at the end it has a stitch count. And it says, after selecting a pattern to stitch, select a fabric and determine its count. 11 or whatever. So, and it gives you this grid, kind of like old multiplication tables, where it has your stitch count here, and then it talks about your fabric threads over here. So you could just kind of come in and see, how big the design will be, which is cool. And then it also gives you, for additional stitch counts, it gives you the formula that your width in threads divided by your stitch count equals your design width in inches. So that's pretty cool. And then it gives you a page for notes, and then just a blank sheet, and then you're at the back of the book. And it's Spicy Journals. And I didn't check their website, but it says www.spicyjournals.com. I bought it on Amazon. It was $8.95, $1 more than a 50-page pad. Worth it, I think. And I also made a shopping trip to Joann's, and I don't think I bought any cross-stitching stuff, believe it or not. I bought some fabric, which is kind of cross-stitching stuff, because I said before, I'm perfectly happy with gallon Ziploc bags. And they work really well for me here because it keeps, they're moisture proof. Like I had a cat that likes to carry things around who actually carried my bag of floss, this big bag of floss that I haven't done anything with yet. She carried that somewhere and I had to go retrieve it. So I'm glad to have plastic bags because the animals and stuff nothing happens to it when I forget to put it away. But I thought it would be nice to have a couple of project bags to take with me, like when I want to go somewhere, to take my stuff with me, kind of dress it up a little. So I'm going to try to do that, and I will show you if and when I ever really use the fabric and make a project bag. So it's something to look forward to. And the other thing that I bought at Joann's was my Art Doll Quarterly. Now I did do a full flip through of this magazine on my craft channel, and if you want to see it, I'll try to remember to link it in the description box below. But this is a really good magazine. It's very inspirational. I mean, you see the doll, it's a ball jointed doll, because she has ball joints, and she has a pumpkin head. So and this is a lot of Halloween stuff. It's actually, these magazines have challenges, and it has a list of them in the back, and it tells you when it's due. So these are the results of the I Am Woman Art Doll Challenge, and that's in the back of the book. But the pictures in here are phenomenal, and I mean, there's all kinds of stuff, and it's very inspiring. Even if you don't want to make an art doll, if you do any other kind of mixed media, or even for cross stitch, I mean, it gives you good color ideas, things that you wouldn't normally think of. There's an interesting doll. Very interesting. She's called Queen Bess. I'm trying to find the one in here that I thought of. If I can find it, I'll show it. I may not be able to find her now. Maybe not. Where are you? Oh, it's another talk amongst yourself moment. Oh, there she is. Frida. I had to show that one for Emily. Not Emily, sorry, McKenna. And that's an art doll somebody made. So this is a good magazine. I really enjoy it. So, like I said, I did a full flip through of that one. So that was good. And I think outside of my other crafts, I'm back. It never fails. I move and the dogs get all excited. They think they're going to get a snack. But anyway, so this is the crochet. They do KALs, K-A-L, for knit-alongs. And a YouTube person doing the knit-along is Kirsten Mangus, I think her name is, but she's known as Good Knit Kisses here on YouTube. And then the KAL, the Crochet Along, is being hosted by Mikey of the Crochet Crowd. And so I'm doing the crochet one because although I have tons of knitting needles and I have knitted before, my brain really has to be into it. So I thought I would do the crochet. And I am on I finished row 5. I have to do row 6 and row 7. And it's nice because it gives you words and it gives you the chart if you prefer to follow the chart. And I can't remember how long this goes on, but this is the first clue that just came out. But this is their 2017 Mystery Crochet Along. And this is what my piece looks like right now. And it is a synthetic. It's a Bernat. Right now I have 2 of 4 colors in it. I still have to get a 4th color. I only got 3. This is vintage white and silver steel. Yeah, silver steel. Silver steel is a variegated fiber, and these are really thick. I mean, these are almost like chenille. Very soft. I mean, it's really nice. But, yep. So that's the other thing that I've done this week. Got a couple more rows to do for clue 1. But I think it's coming along pretty good. Nothing too hard so far. So yeah. I want to do a flip through of I've got a couple of books out, but I just got Jane Netley Mayhew's Cross Stitch Jungle from Amazon, and that has some really beautiful pictures in it, some nice charts. Now I also have Jane Netley Mayhew's Cross Stitch Animal Collection. I mean, the way that she has this set up is actually a chart, and there's a polar one and some other stuff. She has some beautiful patterns. Now this is, I also got out, and I think I've had this book for years, decades even. But this is Cats in Cross Stitch, Cats of the World. And I've had this one flagged to do forever. And I think this may be the next straight cat head that I'm doing. But this is for winter, and he's a Russian blue. And there's some snowdrop flowers there. And I think he's beautiful. But you see this cat on this cover? I actually have a piece from back in the 80s. Pardon his hanging thread right here. I cannot find this pattern, this chart. I can't find it. I want to finish this cat in the worst way. And no, it is not this cat. And I can't find this chart, and I don't even know where it was from. It's been folded up a long time. Hopefully Best Press will take care of it, because I will wash it. But if I ever find it, because he still has quite a long ways to go. You know, if anybody recognizes this, which I doubt, because like I said, it looks a lot like this cat, only not. Anyway, I had been having kind of a fest of looking at all my stuff and thinking of all the things that I'd like to do. So I may do a flip through of Jane Netley Mayhew's Cross Stitch Jungle book. If you've seen that I purchased a book that you might like to see a flip through of, let me know. I'd be happy to do it for you. But I think that's it for this time. Now I gotta clean it all up. And this wasn't even a whip parade. Anyway, I hope that wherever you are, you're safe and dry and able to stitch and relax. And if you are any of the people caught in the devastation, I'm sorry, my heart is with you. I think of all of the troubles that are going on in Mexico and Puerto Rico, and those people in Puerto Rico being told that they're not going to have power back for 6 months. I can't even imagine. It would be like the Dark Ages here. Wow. I mean, think about it. My toilet wouldn't flush if I didn't have power. And it's not winter. It used to be, before I had my generator in the winter, my husband would go out and get buckets of snow. And we had a creek that ran all the time, even in the winter. So he would go out and get water from the creek, or we would let snow melt. And we would use those buckets and dump that water into the toilet to flush it. We would keep a bucket of water by the toilet when the power went out. Can you imagine 6 months of that? I can't. So, saying prayers for Puerto Rico. So, thank you for joining me. I pray that all your problems are small ones and that you're able to have some happy stitching days. Stay happy and be colorful. Thanks for watching.